everyone can feel that something is off. Alright guys, so yes, it's another one of those videos where I talk about something being off. But it's going to be a tad bit different because we're going to talk about the fact, guys, that what just happened last week to Charlie Kirk. I appreciate the fact that more people are starting to get in tune, I guess, with themselves or the situation or the environment, but they know that something's off. And the craziness about it is now I'm backtracking, and I remember people saying a lot of things that were off, and we're going to go over a couple of things, or the rather list of things where people said it was off, and it wind up being something bad. Now, let's go back a little further. Let's go back to the Mr. 19 event when it first started. A lot of people thought that there was something wrong with that situation, right? Now, I wasn't one of them. I thought this was it. I thought this was going to be that pandemic that was going to wipe out most of the world. Not most of the world, but a lot of people. And then it didn't happen. And I remember the first time I got hit to it is when I got back to work during the middle of the outbreak and thinking to myself, going into different homes and not getting sick and going, yo, this is a ruse. Then I started realizing, all right, something's not making sense. Why the hell are we, like the way that they're selling it wasn't what was happening. And they made it sound like that if you were around somebody that had Mr. 19, that was it, you were going to die, right? That's how they sold it to us. So that was number one. I remember thinking now, after I woke up, if you will, I'm like, yo, something isn't right with the situation. Why are they telling us this when it's not the case? All right. So now, right, we had the arm ticket come out, right? Or the Mr. Juice come out, right? Or the Boost Juice. That comes out and people start taking it. And I remember looking at it and just thinking about the timeline of how it was made or when it was made and how fast. And I go, nope, something doesn't seem right about this. Now what are we watching, right? We're watching people pass away in droves. We're watching people not be here anymore. People develop Mr. C's or the Big C. And people all of a sudden passing away. All right. So again, that was a feeling that a lot of us had, that something wasn't right with that, right? And then with the Mr. 19 event, it not being right, now they're coming out and saying that not many people passed away from Mr. 19 like they originally thought. Okay. So now we're going to fast forward a little bit, and we're looking at certain situations now. Now, when Trump ran for office last year, or rather won the presidency last year, I said something's off about this man. He's not the same guy we had the first time around. And with that, we're seeing him do a lot of different shit and a lot of questionable shit, right? And again, the 600,000 Chinese students making a deal with TikTok in China, and I think they're working on a deal this week, or they worked on it last week, I'm not sure. But still, that's kind of shady, and that doesn't feel right. So something, I think, bad's going to come out of that. But now we have a lot of people waking up to the fact that Charlie Kirk's killing, if you will, or sacrifice, however you want to look at it, doesn't feel right. And a lot of people are agreeing to it because a lot of people are doing their internet sleuthing and they're doing their detective work and they look at the video and they're like frame by framing it, the whole 9 yards. There are way more people now saying something's off about this situation. Everyone is probably on board that something's wrong with the situation of the Charlie Kirk thing. More people are leaning towards Israel, because I am, and there are probably tens of thousands of other people, if not hundreds of thousands of other people, agreeing, yeah, something isn't making sense here. They're trying to make Candace Owens look like the enemy right now. And I'm not a big fan of Candace Owens because I did send some of her bullshit, but she's on a warpath right now. She's probably doing pretty good on that warpath, and I'll back her. Whether she's a lunatic or not, I'll back her, because she's exposing a lot of shit. Even Tucker Carlson is starting to expose a lot of shit. And what Tucker Carlson's exposing, I'm like, yo, his next plane ride might be his last. Because some of the shit he's saying, I'm like, right on. Like, people are finally fighting back against those people over there, against the tiny hats. I think people have had enough. And once you off somebody like Charlie Kirk, I will die in that hill that it was Israel. Die in that fucking hill. And just to keep in mind, I'm not suicidal. I'm feeling very healthy. I got my blood test back. Everything's good. I shouldn't die of a heart attack or some kind of hemorrhage. I should be okay. No, I should be. I shouldn't at all, right? I am squared away. So if all of a sudden I don't wake up, those people, and yeah, granted, I know some of you are like, Israel's not thinking about your Negro ass. You're probably right. Point is, guys, that a lot of people are waking up. Candace Owens, like I said, she had enough. Tucker Carlson, I think he had enough. Tucker Carlson was giving the screws to Ted Cruz. Giving him the screws. I was like, holy shit. He was like, well, why do we have to back Israel? You know, like, isn't it enough already that we're doing it? Yo, Taylor was a Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's even fucking stepping up and saying a lot of shit that Israel does in the government. In fact, a CIA operative stated that they did not trust Israelis inside any CIA facility because they were always bringing gifts, and every gift they bought, he said 100% of the gifts they bought had a listening device in it. So much for being our friends, right? So anyway, again, this came from a CIA operative, and he just said, we don't trust them. He goes, that's why they're not allowed in any CIA facility. But look what Israel's doing now. The 50 states, one Israel bullshit. What the fuck kind of project or campaign is that? Can't wait to see what kind of bullshit's going to come out of that. My point, guys, is that everybody feels like something is wrong, and now the attention's on the tiny hats, Israel. That's looking good. And the fact that people are waking up to their bullshit. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the, Muslims are great people as well. They're not. They're fucking scumbags too. Because both religions, between Muslims and Jews, they run the same way. They have similarities, almost identical to each other. I'm going to leave it there. So I'm not saying that either side's good, but this is America, and I'm an American, and we should not be abiding to anything from those people, the tiny hats, if you will. So, again, guys, the fact that everything feels off, more and more people are like, yo, this doesn't feel right. Something is truly off with the entire everything. Like, the world seems like it's off. And some people, there's more and more conversations now about the Matrix. That, I get what they're saying. I'm not buying into it completely. Because if we are in the Matrix, then, well, shit, man. You know? All bets are off. Now, there was something else that people said was off. Even I thought it was off. While I was in the middle of the shit running from two buildings, was the 9/11 attacks. Something off about that whole thing. I remember being there thinking things are wrong. Now, a lot of people point to Building 7. I said Building 7 had structural damage, but the damage that I saw, you're right, wasn't enough to bring the building down, but it was damaged, and they could have pointed to that because there's photos of it. Again, everybody felt like something was wrong with that day. A lot of people who were in tune said, something's not right about today. Even before it happened, we knew something bad was going to happen that day. At least I did. As soon as midnight came around, I mean, I had bad feelings for a while, but as soon as midnight came around, my feelings were like unnerving. I remember like that day being really bad. It was something was bothering me that day, and then that happened. So again, and we're not going to get into who did it. That's going to be for another video that I'm researching for, but I'm going to do a whole who was involved with the 9/11 thing. But anyway, my point, guys, is that we all have this intuition, and if something is off and something feels wrong, that means something is off and something is wrong. We just have to fucking wait and play out to see where things are going to go. But nonetheless, with everything going on the way it is and everything going in different directions, something scary is probably going to happen. Other than that, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.